Hi and welcome to my brand spanking new talk show. That's business talk with a little bit of a twist. As explained in the intro, my lovely guest will be slammed with 3 random questions. Greg, can you confirm you know what the questions are?
I have no idea what the questions are, Ron. I'm not quite sure what I've let myself in for.
Don't worry, you might be okay. And straight after the 3 random questions, we will learn a little bit more about Greg's business, followed by truth or dare.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Lovely. So we are here at Via Deli on Soho Road. I've got my masala tea. And you got yours?
Cheers.
Cheers. Lovely. So here is the random question number 1. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends assume you had done?
My default thoughts are really to go something quite technical. So I'll probably caught doing something with computers I probably shouldn't have been doing, probably breaking into something. Or more than likely, probably something dodgy with cars, probably speeding.
Oh, naughty, naughty. Well, good job you're not being arrested.
No, not yet.
So what's your most useless talent? Yep, you heard that right. Useless talent, but one you're secretly proud of.
Oh, useless talents. I don't really know.
Shall I ask your wife?
You can ask my wife. She'll probably be able to reel off a long list, to be honest. So, but no. Yeah, no, I don't really think I have a useless talent. I'm not sure, but yeah, you put me on the spot with that one.
That's 3 random questions for you. That's absolutely fine. We can come back to that. Now, if your life had a warning label, what would it say?
Caution must contain nuts.
Can you explain?
I'm forever getting trouble through conversation, as my good lady would ascertain. Is I have a habit of getting in conversations with random people in any time, in any location, which normally leads to a crazy adventure somewhere. It's a tale for another day.
To be continued. So, Greg Shepherd from, in fact, I'll let you introduce your company. This is all about you.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Greg from Amory IT Support. We're a MSP or IT provider based in Telford in Shropshire.
So, IT, when people think about IT straight away, firstly, they would question, I'm a small company, I don't need it. Or they would say, I'll just download some stuff online that will support me. And what is your views and remarks about that?
I think certainly depending on who the person is, if you grew up with technology in the household, naturally a lot of people would have learned about technology. Certainly if you're a similar age to myself, you watched the IT generation come in. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in at the moment, you don't have to go very far or look particularly hard to see businesses of all shapes and sizes falling victim to cybercrime or cyber attacks. It's unfortunately becoming more and more commonplace, and it doesn't matter whether you're a one-man band or whether you're a multinational, international business doing hundreds of millions of pounds worth of trade. IT security is more important than ever.
So let's say, for example, I've got a new business that I'm setting up. Do you find that IT is always the last thing that new businesses think about?
It can be, and I think that is more driven by the individual that is setting up the business. In many ways, we tend to find larger organizations actually are more problematic when it comes to IT, and in particular IT security, than small businesses, because normally small businesses, although they may not be technically literate, they normally surround themselves with experts in various other fields. So, you have your accountants and you have your insurance brokers, you have all these sorts of people, including IT professionals, where that help and guidance is given to them to try and keep them safe and ultimately to try and make them more successful and to achieve their own goals. But it can be a double-edged sword. where if you are an individual, whether that's a one-man band, three-man band, whatever it is, who has just rocked up with some laptops connected to the internet, set up a free email account or a very cheap email account on an internet service provision like Ionos or something like that, it comes with risk if you don't know what you're doing to also keep yourself safe.
Absolutely. I think this is where sometimes it can be a miss with some businesses about needing IT support. With ourselves, we do insurance and we know the value of IT support attached with cyber insurance.
Yeah.
With cyber insurance, if there was a claim, they love the fact that they've got IT support.
Yeah.
Get in contact with yourself, and that's when you can talk in your IT language, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and again, that does come up a lot. Techie talk, or you're talking in acronyms and those sorts of things. And I think one of the skills that certainly we bring is that we're able to talk to non-technical people about technical subjects. But there isn't a time and a place for those technical talks. And when you're talking with insurance and in particular cyber insurance, if you're trying to make a claim, you need to have those technical talks. There are very, very highly skilled experts in those fields at these insurance companies who are assessing you. And if you can't explain, or you don't have the language to explain how you set yourself up and how you've kept yourself secure, you may be safe. But if you can't articulate it, they may misunderstand, and that could impact you financially.
So which type of businesses can you help? Is it more than 10 employees, or does it start from one?
For us, it actually starts from one. We have a lovely collection of one-man bands, two-man bands that we absolutely love looking after, because they are very often things like consultants, and they're working in larger industries or supplementing their skills into larger businesses. And very often they come under higher scrutiny than, say, a 10-man band business. But we work with everybody who wants to take IT, and in particular, because it's the hot topic, IT security seriously. So at the moment, we start at one-man bands. Our largest clients go over to 100 plus. So it's all about finding out how we can help those businesses. And if we're the right fit, then fantastic. If not, then we can point you to potentially a larger firm or a different firm that may offer slightly different services that may work for you in a better way.
And this is what I love about you, Greg. The fact that you've just highlighted, if you're not the right fit, then I can point you out to the alternative company. It's not so much, oh, I'm not sure, let me just take this project on board just for the sake of taking it on. You're so passionate about IT and looking after your customers. And that's what I love about you. I mean, what got you into IT to make you feel so like...
Well, IT for me started at an early age. I came from, I've got a particularly large family. So my dad has got 4 brothers. They're all big in IT, believe it or not. Before, and I'm going to demonstrate my age a little bit here, but before, PC World, for example, you couldn't just go into an electronics store to buy a computer. They used to have traveling computer events. So for those who are old enough to remember that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And effectively, loads of tradesmen used to get together, used to drive around the country. They used to set up in hotels normally, in conference rooms and that sorts of things, to sell and talk about IT. And I used to pretty much get dragged along to every event that my family was prepared to travel to. And that's basically what got me started. And obviously being in that environment at such an early age, obviously I used to bug my dad for a computer. And he very much took the approach, well, if you're that interested in computing, or if you really want a computer that badly, build one. And back in the day, it was much more difficult to build a computer than it is now. It's still tricky. There's still skills involved, but it was much more difficult back then. And, I made my fair share of mistakes. In fact, probably made more mistakes than I should have, because I'm a bit of a tinkerer and I used to press all the buttons and see what happened. So my dad and my uncles persevered, kept fixing my mistakes. And one of the big things that I always love is to learn. I think this is true of a lot of industries, but I think in IT especially, just because it changes so quickly, if you do not have a passion for learning, it might not be the right place for you to be in, because you may be highly skilled and great at, let's say, obviously the big topic at the moment is Windows 10 is end of life, right? So if you went for a Microsoft certification and said, I'm going to learn all about Windows 11, okay, that's the new operating system. Everybody should be moving over to Windows 11 if they haven't done so already. But if you went in for a Microsoft qualification on Windows OS, it would be based on Windows 11. By the time you complete it, it's end of life. So that's where I personally believe that independent learning is a big part of what makes you successful in IT. And that is something that I've carried through all my education and have carried on into the workplace, is that I dedicate time every week to learning something new in tech. And it can be something as simple as watching a YouTube video, or getting some spare parts out and having a tinker and those sorts of things. And I think that is ultimately the way you grow and how you can become really successful.
So it doesn't just stop with the fact that you do a site visit, you offer your pricing, you learn more about IT, what the risk could be, i.e. like obviously with insurance that we do, you look at what would actually who would attack insurance companies, where are the loose ends, what can you do to prevent that from happening?
I think that in terms of being able to supply IT to any business, you need to understand that business, because every business is unique. You can go to 100 different accountants, and I pretty much guarantee you every single time that accountant's firm will do something different in every single one. Some will supply to trade, some won't supply to trade, some might be on Xero, some might be on QuickBooks. Every single one will be different, or have a slight difference that you, as their professional IT provider, have got to not only be able to provide support, you've got to be able to keep them safe. So you've got to understand that business. And that's where the journey starts. We put a lot of energy and effort that if we get invited to perform a quotation at a client, our initial conversations are not about the tech. Our initial conversations are about the business. What's the business doing? Where are you now? Where do you want to be is a big one. Because we can come in now and say, okay, well, Neelam, this is where you are. You've got this amount of staff. This is the hardware you've got. But if you're on a journey to say, okay, well, look, this is what we're doing right now, but in 12 months' time, 18 months' time, this is where we want to be. How do we support you through technology to realize that journey and realize that dream of where you're trying to get to? Because the technology has got to support you on the journey, not just the now. So without understanding the journey that you're on, you can't provide proactive support to that business, because you just don't know.
And with how fast technology is moving as well, what I love also is the fact that you're not just thinking about today, you're thinking about the future and the support that you can give with that journey. And that's very much like our insurance as well. We ask the question about what is it that you do? What is it that you want to do in the future? And quite often people think they don't need cyber insurance. I don't carry any or hold any sensitive information, but sensitive information can start with the name and surname. How easy is it for people to hack just by using a first name and second name?
Hacking has got so many different types and styles to it, so it's quite difficult to put it under that umbrella. But if I just focus on email as a prime example, email is still the biggest attack vector out there at the moment. I think it makes up for around 70% of initial hack attempts on UK businesses at the moment. The most common being phishing style email. So, they'll be the ones that everyone has seen. Hi, it's everything from Nigerian prince trying to transfer money through to, hi, it's your CEO, can I please have your mobile phone number so we can have a WhatsApp conversation? I think between those two extremes, pretty much everyone who is listening to this has probably fell in to one of those or received one of those emails at some point in the working environment, right? So what we need to do as your professionals or as IT professionals in general is that it is almost impossible to stop those emails coming through. Yes, there are tools. Yes, there are mitigation tools that you can put in place to reduce the opportunity for those emails to come through. But with every tool that you deploy, the opposite end of that spectrum, the hackers, also are deploying those tools. So it's a never-ending arms race. So one of the big things, certainly from a cybersecurity side of things, is going to be user education.
That's true.
More conversations are happening just this month now than we ever have done over the last 3 years about cyber education for staff. And ultimately, that is your biggest line of defense. You can spend all the money in the world on software. You can spend all the money in the world on firewalls. Yes, they will help you. And they're, you know, they are an important part of the security jigsaw puzzle. So for the people who have had conversations with me in the past, I always talk about the security jigsaw puzzle because there is no silver bullet. Anyone who tells you that there is a silver bullet that is going to keep you safe online is downright lying. It's a jigsaw puzzle. And what you need to do is have enough of those jigsaw pieces to fill in the holes. So when it comes to email security, like I said, we try and supply as many of the pieces as we can from a technology standpoint. However, education, it's a big, big piece. And if you're not educating your staff, ultimately, that's going to be your biggest weak point. So it's not always about technology. Technology has its place, obviously, and we love what we do. But in the same breath, it's also about education.
Right, so you touched on about education. So for those who are listening and want to venture into the field of IT support, are you able to guide them to the right path or obviously share your experience? And if they want a little bit more of an insight, would you be open to giving your personal education, should I say?
Well, absolutely. You know, and for those who are looking to get into into an IT field, reach out to your local providers. There's hundreds of thousands of IT professionals in the UK. Obviously, if this goes further afield, millions of people globally work in IT. Everything from education to farming to accountancy to legal, every field is covered with IT. There is no industry out there that doesn't need some form of technical support. So go have those conversations. Absolutely. If you want to reach out to me, my details will be in the bottom. But yeah, feel free to reach out. We can have that conversation. If you're a student and you're on your journey, amazing. Keep learning, keep studying. Tinker. I'm a big tinkerer. I think that personally for me, that is the key way I learn. It's gotten me into trouble. Don't get me wrong. I've taken apart things and then gone, oh my God, how the hell do I put this back together? Mistakes is a part of learning, right? It's a part of life, but the opportunity is there for you to learn from those mistakes. But, all your peers are out there. They can help you. They can guide you. They can point you in the direction. If you're looking for cybersecurity or looking to get into cybersecurity at the moment, it is a difficult career to get into. There's a lot of learning involved. There's a lot of cost involved. But if you're passionate, follow it. Don't give up because it will come. I promise you that it will come.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Greg. And thank you for introducing your business. Know what's coming up next. So we have started with 3 random questions followed by business talk, and this is the part that Greg is dreading. Truth or dare?
Yeah, go on. How many questions are we doing? Truth or dare to start with?
Just one.
Just one. Oh my God. I feel like I should say truth and wimp out, but
Up to you. I mean, wherever you feel comfortable. So this is the dare. And the question is there.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go, as this is the first one.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we do both?
Both?
Both. Go on. So let's start with truth. Why not?
Okay. All right, let me just get my iPad ready. Oh, I do love you. Okay. So what's one thing your partner does that drives you mad, but you'd never admit it to her?
Yeah, I might be taking the dare on this one. Okay, I want to start off by saying I love my partner. I love it. Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. However, I'm generally speaking, blokes don't tend to listen, right? We're all guilty of it. We've got very selective hearing, or we choose to have selective hearing. But I don't know what it is when she's complaining about me quite verbally in another room. My ears immediately tune in.
Okay.
And you sit there and you're like, I don't know if she's saying it loud enough so that I am supposed to hear that, or whether I need to chime in or just be quiet. But we get on like house on fire. We've been together a really long time, but we both rub each other as well. So we try have as much fun as we can. But you've got to take the good with the bad. And if you force me to pick on something, then the silent complaining or not so silent complaining is something that I would choose to selectively not hear. Let's say that.
And if she is listening and watching, he loves you, really. He really does. Okay, you're very brave in doing both. So here's the dare. Because I know you love your Asian food, Indian food, any different types of food that's got spice. So, at home, we've grown some chilies. I have to say, this one chili is enough to burn my mouth when I make a curry.
Oh my God.
I'm not expecting you to eat it all. All right, just for the camera. There you go. So I've grown this at home. Lovely, lovely. And Greg has admitted he loves his spice. He can take his spice.
Yeah, I think that's a bit overstated.
No turning back now.
Yeah,
Right.
I said I would do both. So let's do both.
Okay. You can pick which one.
I'll pick.
You can take a little bite.
A little bite. Oh, go on then. We'll go for the big one. My theory is concentrated power.
Right,
so
just before you do,
yeah,
you need to face a camera so they can so they can watch you.
So they can watch me reel in pain as you've probably given me something. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Of course.
Right, you ready?
Oh,
I think she's actually more nervous than I am now.
I am.
3, 2, 1.
You are very brave.
Oh, wow.
And that is my homegrown chili.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it. Yeah.
So while Greg is struggling there a little bit, I just like to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. And we will be talking to a different business. So what I'll be doing with my next show is I'll be speaking to another business owner. We'll be talking about their business. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
I think it's best if I wrap it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Crownsway Insurance Brokers Limited is a family business established in 1971. We proudly provide and assist with both business and personal insurance needs. Founder, late Dr. Dharam V. Duggal. Managing Director, Dr. Saroj K. Duggal, MBE. Contact the host. If you'd like to take part or discuss your insurance needs, telephone number 0121 554 3566. Email neelam@crownsway.co.uk. Disclaimer. This video and/or podcast is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Crownsway Insurance Brokers Limited.